What's up, Culture Drop? Galen here. I've got a doozy of a topic here. Is it toxic to say we're a family here? We have a work family and our culture is like family. I have thoughts around this. I think this can be a really polarizing conversation. I don't know everything in the world, but this is my perspective about this conversation because it does kind of come up a lot. And before I dive in, I just want to say that there's a parallel here also in DEIB work and why language matters, and that being aware of and conscious of other people's lived experience matters in our own growth, and if we want to be conscious about moving through this world well with other human beings. So I do get asked a lot, do I think this is toxic to say we're a family, we're a work family here? Here are my 2 cents. I think that when organizations and teams use that term and they say, we're all family here, and we're like, we have this family environment, I think that they intend it to be incredibly positive. I think what they mean when they say that is that we have each other's backs, we care about each other genuinely, we support one another, that we look out for one another, we just care about each other, and we're like this tight, cohesive group, and that we're intentional about that. And I think that that is noble. I think that's positive. I think that that is, those things are elements to a very healthy, good, positive, working culture and environment for teams. But the sticky point is that that is not the case for many people when it comes to the word family. Most people's lived experience of family is not one where this positive, healthy kind of environment. For many, many people, the idea of going to work with their family is the last thing that they want to be part of. For a lot of people, their lived experience is that families are toxic. They have no boundaries. They're built on very dysfunctional systems of cyclical abuse of power and weirdness and poor behavior that nobody can address or talk about. For some people, family means bad behavior that is ignored or excused or perpetuated that people cannot escape from. When a lot of people think of family, they think of gossiping and bad-mouthing and people being in each other's business, and also obligation, having to invite Uncle Jeff to the barbecue even though he's a drunk and he's a racist and he makes people uncomfortable. No thank you. And so for you as an executive or a company or business, that might not be your lived experience with family. You might have come from a really healthy, cohesive, positive. The idea of a family unit to you is something that's awesome and great, and you're lucky if that is the case for you. And I think that's something for you to think about, or for companies to think about. If the word family doesn't also conjure up images of trauma, then it just may be something to consider and think about, because for a lot of people it does. And that is obviously not what you intend when you say we're a family here. So do I think organizations should not use the word family and not describe their sort of work culture as being a family environment? No, but also I think being aware of and understanding that it's really problematic for some people is a cause to reevaluate it and make a decision of do we want to use this language? Does this mean what we want it to mean? And if somebody had a negative reaction to this, do we want that? Language evolves. This is about awareness and other people's lived experiences. What I think you should do is take the language that you mean when you say a family and use that instead. If you mean that we are supportive, that we care about each other, that we're genuine, that we have each other's backs, say those things instead of family, because those things are pretty clear. But family is not necessarily the same thing to everybody. My take and perspective on this is that organizations should view themselves and operate like a high-performing sports team. Everybody wants to be there, they're skilled at what they do, they continue to learn and grow and improve, and there's a common goal and a common objective that everybody is rowing towards, that everybody cares about and is invested in. An environment where you are here because of your skill, and also how you show up here matters, and people understand that they either perform and do well or they get replaced or removed. And alongside that, there is also a high bar, and there's camaraderie, and people care about each other genuinely, right? It's not just perform, but also with that is a sense of that we care about each other, that we have each other's back. Because you tell me that's what your company is like. We operate like a high-performing sports team. Everybody here is skilled. We continue to learn. We have a common objective, and we also treat each other well, and we're intentional about how we show up. I'm okay. That's an environment that I want to be part of. That's what I want to say. That's my take. That's my perspective about it. I think it's something to reevaluate and be do we need to use this language? Is it really important to us? I don't think you necessarily have to change, but let's be clear about what we mean when we say family. Cool. Go be awesome. Thanks for watching and tuning in. Subscribe to our channel. We put a lot of content on here. You can also subscribe to the Culture Drop mailing list and get these emails in your inbox every Tuesday morning. Follow our social media channels. Put a lot of free content out about just being more awesome and building great teams.